Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review. The season finale of Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 6, Episode 22, Beautiful Lies. Oh, y'all. Okay. This was a very, it was a lot going on in this episode. It was a lot. Please, y'all, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you do get anything out of my commentary, I'm a growing channel, and I would love for you to be a part of my community. And please, please, please smash that like button. The more you smash that like button, the more people will start to see me. I will go through the algorithm. They say that's how it works. So I'm just reiterating how it works. And also, I did a review of The Color Purple, me and my daughter. So I'm actually on camera, me and my daughter. You get to see us or whatever in our natural environment. And we're just having a good time laughing about the movie. You know, she's a young girl and I'm an older lady. And so we just going back and forth with our views about it. So y'all, please don't hesitate to go out and check that out. There are spoilers. I mean, if you've seen the movie, then you know. But if you haven't seen it, yeah, I'm gonna spoil a lot. But it's okay. I mean, hey, don't watch it. If you don't like spoilers. But if you do, hey, check us out. So let's get into this episode. And I just want to tell each and every one of you all, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you. Thank you for showing me love, because I do love you all, each and every one. Good comments, bad comments, it doesn't matter. I mean, the interaction is all I really care about. Don't get too disrespectful, because I don't do that. But you know, as long as we're respectful to each other, towards each other, of each other, I think we will be okay. All right. Tyler Perry's Sistas. This is the season finale, as I stated earlier. But the thing about it is, it come back on January the 3rd. Ain't that like next week? Yeah. Okay. It is what it is. Here we go. Episode starts out. Danny is on the phone. She gets the picture of Preston saying that he is married. So while she's on the phone, she's talking to Sabrina. She says Sabrina is trying to, kind of lift her spirits a little bit. And but Danny, she ain't really trying to get lifted, because Preston actually sent her the text message. And Sabrina is like, so he sent you that. So he sent you a picture of him being married. And she said yes. And he sent the caption as well, saying, you made your decision. I made mine. You are blocked from my phone and out of my life. Then he says, well, good for him. I said, well, good for him too. Preston, I hope you go live long and prosper. You and Mindy. I think it's Mindy. That's the last other woman that I knew about. But anyway, Sabrina asks how does she feel about it. And she says she's going out tonight to have a good time. Sabrina says, but you did like him. And Danny says, yeah, but he's married. I mean, there's nothing that she could do now. I know she's not going to run over down where Preston at and kick in the door and slap your chick and say, I want my man back. I mean, she just gonna do what Danny does. When Danny gets heartbroken, she go and finds another man and she lays up under that man. And yeah, that's what happened. But Sabrina mentions the double date, and Danny says that she is going on a date with Tony, but she's not going on a double date with them. She's grown. She ain't 18 years old. She grown. She want to get her something to eat. You know, in my Jada Pickett voice. Yeah, that was on Low Down Dirty Shame. But anyway, so, but Sabrina knows that if Danny goes on this date with Tony, she's going to eventually sleep with him, because those are the habits that Danny portrays. But, Danny's saying, no, I ain't doing it. And it is what it is. But Sabrina says that she feels like Tony is a good guy. Do we? And she says it a lot. I'm like, is he? But, time will tell. According to that season 7, I don't know what Tony is. Anyway, but Sabrina says she just don't want her to mess up a good thing. And they end up getting out the phone, and Sabrina like me. So he married Mindy? I said, girl, that's the only other woman that I know. Do you know about anybody else? All right, so that's it. And then we get to this whole this whole diatribe of Gary and his antics. All right, let's get into it. Now, you have Andy, Penelope, Gary, Hayden, right? So it originally starts out as Andy, Penelope, and Gary. So Penelope and Andy over there talking, right? So Gary, he walks over trying to break up the conversation about him. So Andy says, well, we're going into our office. And Gary says, well, I'm going with you. Andy says, no. And then Gary says, well, I'm here to see, his lawyer, Hayden. And then Gary tries what Gary does best. He starts to say he loves Penelope, and this woman, Andy, doesn't mean anything to him. And Gary wants Penelope to leave with him, but Penelope ain't going. So he's trying to plead his case to Penelope, telling her all the how much he loves her and how much Andy don't mean nothing. So while he's talking, Fatima comes over and she gets into the conversation. So she's over there. I mean, I've said it before that Fatima is like a little pit bull child, a little, what they say, a red nose. Shaking like a red nose. She's like a pit bull in a skirt, which she really is. And Gary confirmed it too. Just to let you all know. But anyway, so Gary says that he's willing to make a fool out of himself for Penelope. And Fatima tells Gary, you need to leave. And then Gary like, I'm going with them. But no, she's like, no. Fatima says, you go to your office, Andy. And Gary, you go on where you gonna go. And so Fatima gets into Gary's face as the other two girls leave, because when Fatima said, you go to your office, Andy said, okay. So they walk out. So Fatima gets into Gary's face and, she's, bucking up, telling him to leave or whatever. And so Gary says he's not done with her. I said, oh, wow. And that the stuff she did with Hayden, that was real, Lord. You sent that low down, dirty or to Hayden. And then Fatima says there is not a low on this earth that's lower than Gary. I said, not a lower on this earth that's lower than Gary. But anyway, Fatima said, get out my face. No, you get out of my face. They doing the whole get out my face thing, right? And he tells her to move. And then here go Gary. So do you like your job? See, I tell people, do they like their job when I'm getting bad service? Like if I go to a restaurant and they having a bad day and they just put my fries on there with, just here your fries, here your burger, here your drink. And I'm like, are you having a good day? Do you not like your job? See, that's me, low key saying, keep on playing with me about my food. I'm going to call corporate. See, that's what you got to do sometimes, because people, I'm paying for service and you giving me bad service. But in this situation, Gary, this ain't even your job. You just overhearing people business, messing up folks' lives. Black women matter. Anyway, so here you go. So do you like your job? And then Fatima telling me, you know what? I don't give a care about this job or prison. I said, well, tell them how you really feel, Fatima. You don't care about this job or prison because you keep messing with me. I'm putting this is my part. You keep messing with me, you're going to see how low I can get. Play with me if you want to. She didn't say that, I did. Because y'all know I like to ad-lib. I put my own spin on things. Okay. So then Gary says that he has a standing appointment with his lawyer. And she said, well, his office is over there. And then Gary says, oh, she's a little bull. She has a little bulldog in her. And then he tells her to keep on playing with me. And Fatima says, well, keep playing with her. You're going to see how she bites. I said, yep, she bites, she shoot, she punches, she puts you on top of cars. Go ask Hayden. Hayden know. As a matter of fact, she going to reiterate it to Hayden. So Hayden comes out and he just like, yep, that's my client. And then, Gary walk on off, and then Hayden look over at Fatima. Fatima like, what you looking at? And he says, I have some things planned for you. I'm like, what? He said, just wait. I'm like, wait. What you got planned for Fatima? Because I really want to see. I mean, you done a lot, but she done a lot to you. I'm trying to figure out whose plans are worse for each other. But anyway, so Fatima says, hey, then you keep messing with me, you going to be counting your days. And knowing you need to start counting now. I said, so is he going to be in the one with them church shoes on? Well, dress shoes on that's stretched out on that gurney? Is that going to be Hayden? Because she told him to count his days. So we did see somebody getting carried away with the sheet over him. Is it you? But anyway, so we'll see in season 7. And then Yeah, you should probably start soon. Here go Hayden. We'll see. He do that little dumb smirk. He do that. Ugh, I hate when he do that. That really gets on my nerves. So now Penelope and Andy, they go into her office. And then Andy says, I know this is hard. And Penelope says, do you love him? Andy says, yes. No, yeah. And then Penelope says, do you still love him? And then Andy says, not like I used to. And then Penelope says, so do you want to be with him? Well, not since last night. Because last night he said he didn't even want me no way. So now I don't want him. He don't want me. I don't want him either. Yeah, I know I ad-lib. I put that part in there. All right. So then Andy brings up, okay, so your brother told me that you had some questions for me. So then child, Aunt Penelope pulls out a whole calendar. Now, when I tell y'all this woman wrote down every incident that ever happened between her and Gary. Now, that's the type of woman you don't want to fool with, because she don't forget nothing. Y'all can't get nothing past her. No, you didn't, because on October the 18th, 2024, this is what you did. Okay, you right. You wrote it down. But anyway, here we go. So Penelope brings out her calendar to compare dates. And then Andy, were you with him on these dates? And Andy said, some of them we were together and some of them we were not. And then Penelope says, oh, okay. But on one particular day I called him and I heard another woman in the background. Was that you? Andy said, no, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. So Penelope says, so there are other women out there. And then here go Andy, no, but he got other clients. Andy, and now if she said there were other women out there, they were other women out there. Stop trying to take up for this man. You still trying to take up for him. Either you're not trying to get Penelope no more upset than what she already is. Child, just lay it all out. Child, she knows. She got a calendar. Anyway, Penelope says, no. And then she holds her hand up and show her ring. She said, our ring? This is our ring. And then, child, she said, it's other girls that got the same ring. She showed Andy a phone of somebody with a ring on. And then Andy like, she do her mouth. Oh, my God. Anyway, so then Andy says, the only way to find out is, and she said, no, I'm not going over to talk to him. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. I'm not going. All right, anyway. So Andy ended up calling Fatima on the phone and says, hey, we about to go on over here to Gary's office to go to Hayden's office to go and confront Gary. All right. So then they get over there. Now this is this picture. So they all together in this picture right here. And so Andy presents the calendar to Gary and says, because we friends now. Me and my friend, we was going over our dates and we want to know what you got going on over here. And then says, I know there are other women. And Gary says, you know what? There are no other women. Don't believe none of them. He says, I love you, Penelope. Penel, I love you. And, here you go, Fatima. Don't fall for it, Penel. I actually used to date a guy that was named Pernell. But anyway, there was a long time ago, back in 62. Now, what was it, 98? Anyway, so, child, was it? Yeah. But anyway, so Fatima told me, don't fall for it. And Andy says, well, he's gonna Fatima says don't fall for it because he gonna play you like he played Andy. And Hayden jumps in, oh, like you played with me with Tamara. Hayden, this ain't even about you. Why you always gotta make stuff about you? With your arms, with your hands folded. Like, why you gotta bring you up in this? And then Hayden says that Fatima is trash. Fatima said, I got your trash. Fatima threatens him again and say, you remember when you got beat up? You was on them crutches. And I was slinging stuff all around your house. You remember that, right? And Hayden said, so you're admitting you did it? In front of all these witnesses? Andy said, I didn't hear nothing. Penelope said she didn't either. But here go Gary. I heard it. We ain't talking to you, Gary. We talking to the people that didn't hear it. Anyway, so Gary's jumps back in the conversation. It was like, no, Penelope, Penel, look at me. Look at me, Penel. Andy said, oh, that's what you do? Andy said, hold on, wait, that's how you do it. Not to look at me, because that's how you did me. And then here go Andy. She gives her breakdown, because she ready to talk now. Here's Andy. First, you would purchase me extravagant gifts. And then you would sing and dance. You would have the people come out and, it's your money, let it go. You do your dancing and your singing, your singergrams, whatever they call, to make me feel better. And then you bought me a penthouse, and then you would come to my house and beg and plead for me to take you back. Ain't that what he did? Yep, that's what he did, girl. Okay, I know that's what he did. And now, so then she says, and mind you, Penelope, I didn't tell you about how I met his wife. His wife? His wife. I didn't tell you about that because she actually hired me to be her attorney. Fatima said, that girl is back cuckoo crazy. And yeah, Andy said, but wait, it ain't her. He made her crazy. Shoot, look at all of us. He has a pattern. Okay. And so then Gary says, are you done? Are you done? Andy says, are you done abusing black women? I was like, God, dog, yeah, are you done, Gary? God, dog. But anyway, so then Andy says, because Gary was talking about she don't mean nothing to me. He always got to say that Andy don't mean nothing to him and all that stuff. But then Gary flips it and says, what you mean? Well, you don't mean nothing to me either. She said, and she said, you did. Andy said, I did love you. I did. But she said she decided to wait and use him until she found a better partner that would be better for her. She said, but in the meantime, I still collected the bags, the gifts, the cars, the clothes, the greens, beans, potatoes, lettuce, chicken, turkey, hog, mouse, you name it. She named it. And she collected it, right? And then he says, but you made it easy for me. You made it easy for me. You did, because you made it easy for me to forget you. Say, forget you. I don't want you no more. And then Gary says, well, that was all material. That's all material. Penel says, go to, she says, tell him to go to HE double hockey sticks. But yeah, Andy said, yeah, you made it easy for her. And she wanted to say thank you for cheating on her, for the lies and everything. Thank you, And that was pretty much it. And Andy got her thoughts out, and they walked on out, and they laughing together, whatever. And so then you have the two girls in Fatima. And Penelope says, I wish she knew. And who said they were sorry? I think Penelope said she was sorry. Andy said that she was sorry and all that stuff. And then they said there was no way for her to figure it out. And now they're wondering what Hayden and Gary were talking about, because, Fatima had left her phone in that conference room. And so while she left her phone in the conference room, I guess she had it on record so she can listen through her AirPods about what they were talking about. And so Hayden is starting to ask Gary all these questions about them girls. Like, Gary, you like Penelope, right? He said, I like Penelope a lot. Do you love her? He said he really answered the love question, but he says he does like her. He liked her a lot. And she's going to come back to him because she is weak. And he said, well, she loved me. I know she's going to come back around. And then what about Andy? And then he says about Andy that he just said all that stuff because Andy found out. So I'm like, so do you really love Andy? But he would say, shoot, Andy ran through. He was just hitting that to pass the time. I said, dang, so people that you just hitting to pass time, you buy them penthouses and Rolls Royces? So you do all of that just to pass time? Oh, okay. You might as well get with Tamara if that's the case. But anyway, so Hayden said you did, ask her to marry you. But Gary talking about, shoot, I buy all of them the same ring. That don't mean I want to marry him. And that's why the FBI is investigating you. Because you just misappropriating funds. That's what I think. But anyway, so then Fatima walks in to get her phone because they're talking, right? And then Gary kind of looks over and sees Fatima's phone. And as they're talking, because Hayden brings up Zack and Fatima, what are we gonna do to get them back? And that's when he looks over to see Fatima's phone and he's whispering, I can't lose, And Fatima walk in and get her phone, talking about, thank you, I left my phone. And so while he and they're complaining about how he can't lose, Fatima, they go out to the girls. They over there high-fiving each other, calling Fatima a genius and all that. And then Penelope ends up leaving. Andy, she gets back sad. And Andy said she didn't know. And Fatima said, how could you know? He was doing all this stuff for you, making you feel. But still, I mean, I'm not finna make it seem. I'm not finna sit here and ignore the fact that Andy had hired a private investigator to see all of Gary's dirty draws. All the women he was messing with, this this whole sex therapy girl he was messing with, like that wife and all of that stuff. So Andy, you did know. You not gonna sit up here and play in my face like you didn't know. Yes, you did. And you still continue to mess with the man. So whatever. Anyway. But anyway, make a long story short, Andy tells Fatima to quit the thing with Hayden because she don't like all the drama and all that stuff. But Fatima says Hayden keeps starting with her. As long as Hayden gonna keep at it, she gonna keep at it too. And I'm like, it's easier said than done, Andy. I mean, Hayden ain't really been in your life like that to destroy it the way that he's been trying to destroy Zack and Fatima. Like, you literally heard him say what we gonna do about Zack and Fatima. Then you want to turn back around and say, oh, you need to let it go. No, ain't nobody finna let it go. I'm not, because he keep messing with me. So in return, I'm going to keep messing with him, and it is what it is. But matter of fact, you just worry about your new man, your fine man, Jordan. That's all they do. They leave one man, they go to another one. No one takes time to heal. No one heals on this show. Nobody. They just run from man to man and think it's going to be okay. Y'all stand up here carrying ghosts, spirits, demons, and all this stuff to the next person. All right, let it be. It is what it is. All right, so it looks like the only person that's really letting it heal is Karen, because Karen said, I'm taking a break. Maybe just because she's pregnant. I mean, I've seen pregnant women do all kind of stuff pregnant, but that's neither here nor there. Karen, Brian, now they are introducing a new realtor, Chelsea. And Brian asked Karen about has she bought a house and all that stuff. And, Karen said she really don't know too much about this whole real estate thing. This is all new to her. So Brian says he's going to help her as much as he can. As they're talking, Chelsea walks in. Chelsea, hey, everybody, they explain, exchanging pleasantries. And then Karen says again, she doesn't know about all this. They talk about the price. Chelsea says the price is too high. Brian says the price is too, is just right, it's perfect. So Robert, they said I guess Robert is the building owner. So because y'all was saying in the comments that y'all think that Aaron is behind this. So is Aaron ain't Robert too? I mean, like when remember the other lady, she called him something else. I forget what she called him, but apparently he got different names, child. I don't know. But Brian said that it was a good price. And so he ended up walking outside so the girls could talk. So, and then you heard Chelsea, y'all, she a little bit too nosy. I'm like, child, you worse than Pam. Almost all in everybody's business. Ain't you supposed to be over here trying to tell me about loan interest and stuff like that? My credit score, if I can't get this building. Here she goes. So you don't act like you don't see it. Karen, like, notice what? Not that you don't notice. He's fine. He's great body. He loves his kid, his wife. He's perfect. Key words. He loves his kids and he loves his wife. He over here trying to do a business deal with me. I mean, I'm like, okay. So Karen said, Karen ain't really trying to indulge in all this stuff. She just like, okay, but what about the building? So Karen tells Chelsea about her house, her salon burning down and all of that stuff. So, because earlier in the conversation, Brian did mention getting Karen back to her car. And so Chelsea brings up, so you're riding with him? Like, what are you doing? And she was just like, yeah, I rode over here to see the building. And here's Chelsea. So he never lets anyone ride in a car with him unless it's his wife. So he must really like you, being that he started off at an offer so low. And so Karen just like, well, I mean, I don't know. He cool. I mean, I'm not, again, she not here for all this. She just trying to get whatever she can get. And so then they talk about Karen's credit and, does she own a house? She said, no, I don't own no house, but I got bought a car and I got credit cards and all this stuff. And so she said that she's going to get him in contact with the lender so they can just go over all of her background information in regards to her money. And then she asked, so how did you know about us or whatever? And then they brought up Zack. And then, oh, you Zack? What? He said, well, that's my child's father. But, oh, how old is your child? I'm currently pregnant right now. Mind you, it's not with Fatima. Fatima wasn't, she was in the picture, but she wasn't in the picture. They wasn't like together. It was one of them days. But she said, I was going to ask because Karen said her poker face wasn't pokering, so she too nosy. She too nosy. Because she trying to figure out what Brian got going on. So I guess come to find out, maybe Brian don't own the building. Come to find out, Brian is really married. So I guess that's answering all my questions, unless it's going to be some type of plot twist. I mean, I don't know. Either, like she said, either Brian really likes her or don't like him at all. We are really trying to know what's up Brian's sleeves. And she been knowing him longer than me. So anyway, they go outside and they start talking to Brian, and, you know, they talk about getting Karen information over there to the lender. So that's pretty much that. Now, Zack and Fatima, they get to the house. Well, Fatima gets to the house and Zack asks about Hayden. And she said, you know what? He is not welcomed in our house. We're not talking about Hayden. So then Zack says that he's going to offer Heather up $100,000 for baby Michael. And Fatima thinks that he should wait. Just wait it out. But Zack talking about he can't wait. He got to go ahead and try to get custody of his son however he can. And Fatima talking about, well, she a hood rat. Once she run out of cheese, she gonna want more. And she's gonna eventually is 100,000, but she's gonna want $1 million. And Zack is like, well, he's not gonna worry about that right now. He already drew up the papers, the notary, and all of that stuff. So Fatima was just like, okay, so since you're not really changing your mind, well, can we just start off with $25,000? You know, the woman, she do work down at the strip club. She be getting, you know, girl crawling on the floor to get money. And Zack says that they need to go ahead and go over there so they can try to negotiate getting this baby, which is the saddest thing that I've ever heard. But Fatima get her purse. Zack don't want her to bring her purse, but she bring her purse, and they gone to go over Heather's house. And now you have Danny. Well, Sabrina was on the phone with Danny. It really wasn't much to that conversation. Sabrina says they want a double date. She says no. Sabrina says she's going over to Danny's house. Danny really ain't trying to see Danny ain't trying to see Sabrina like that. So she says she ain't no 18-year-old girl. Sabrina just don't want Danny to sleep with Tony because she know how Danny is. So she just want her to be around, you know. Sabrina wants to be around Danny so Danny can make the right decision, pretty much. Danny don't want to. She don't want to hear about none of that stuff. Danny want to make herself feel good. That's pretty much what that conversation was about. They get off the phone. Maurice come out there back. And I was like, Sabrina, why are you still at Maurice's house? So I guess this is why. Maurice looked like he's starting the OnlyFans because he ain't got no job. He come out the back of the room looking like a half-naked Batman, the Dark Knight. Child, titties hanging all out. I'm like, boy, can you put a bra on? Well, I guess that ain't the goal. He want the titties to hang. I mean, it is what it is. And then he got the nerve to sit up there and talk about about Sabrina outfit when you run over here looking like a half-naked Zeus. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. He said he's looking opulent. You know he got to get a job. But anyway, child. Okay, Maurice, you like it. I love it with your Meganese. It is what it is. Sabrina said, I'm finna go because I can't take no more. You sitting over here talking about this girl, mama, and everything else. But it is what it is. All right, this was another nothing conversation. Tony and Danny talking to each other about the date later on. He says he talked to Rich. He said he don't want no double date. It's just going to be them two. Then they get all off, because Tony said they could probably have drinks with them later. Danny said, no, it could be just of them two later. You play your cards right. He said he got a full deck. And this is the main reason why Sabrina said no. Let's just be together the whole time. But Danny knows Danny wants what she wants. And that's it. Yeah. They gonna hang out, and he said he gonna take a bath and he gonna smell like soap and cologne. Well, I hope so, sir. All right. That's what that is. All right, the scene of the night. So Heather over there yelling at the baby Michael. Sit down, sit your butt down. You know, she doing all that. And so she yelling at the baby. It's a knock knock. It's a knock at the door, right? Who is it? What you know, all that. So Zack talking about open the door with me. What you want? I got money. So Heather calmed down. She go to the door and open the door. And he says, where is baby Michael? She talking about in the room. Can I see him? No. Okay. All right. So then he says, I want to get custody of Michael. I got $25,000. Heather says no. He says, well, I have 150. She says no, because she's smiling because she knows she can get more money. Then he says, I have $100,000. She said, you have $100,000 in cash? And he says, well, I can go get it. And she said, why are you doing all this? He said, because it's our son. And then she said, well, you just found out. He said, well, thanks to you. I mean, thanks to you, he did just found out, So you're trying to buy your son. So if you come up with $100,000, then I want $1 million. Child, why? Zack looked right over there at Fatima. Fatima said, I told you. I told you. What you looking over there at her for? Because you just asked me for $1 million to buy your son. That's why I'm looking at her. Because she told me this right before I got over here. She told me you was going to do this because you a hood rat. You run right here looking for cheese. You want more cheese. Okay? That's why we looking at each other. Because she was right. That's why. But anyway, so then he says that he wants custody. And she don't even understand why he wants custody because she said, I got a house. Child, you got Cheetos and pea stains and all other stuff on your seats like you ain't even sweat. Paper towels, cups, beer bottles, Thigh Masters. You got all this stuff. Come on, put your stuff up. But anyway, so, yeah. And she said, well, ain't no wrong with how he was raised. I got a house. This how I was raised. I said, I see. But the thing is, we supposed to progress over the years. We don't carry over the sins of our fathers and our mothers. You're supposed to do better the next generation. Not put the baby in the situation that you was in. Just because it happened to you, it don't mean it got to happen to your son. But anyway, and so Zack talking about he want custody. She said, you gonna get cussed the F out. I said, okay, that's a hard cuss. And then Zack says, then she starts yelling. She starts telling Zack to leave, Zack, and then she gonna call the police. While she over there yelling at Zack, Fatima walks around. And she goes over there to go see what baby Michael doing. So she goes into the bathroom, I guess, because I thought there was a bedroom. So maybe you can see the bedroom and the bathroom. I'm not for sure how it's set up. But she goes in the bathroom and she yells, Zack! And then Zack like, what? So he run up in there. Child, the baby is tied up like he's held captive with his video game or whatever game he got, a toy, in the bathtub. He said, you got my son tied up in the tub? Heather talking about because he keep running away. You know what? If I can take my hand and push it through this TV and slap her in the back of her neck, thank you, Fatima. Fatima did it for me. Because I didn't even have to lift a finger because Fatima already done it. So, Zack run in there. Heather run in there. Fatima grabs Heather, throw her into the wall in the bathroom, then pushes her outside on the floor of the living room. Heather, what? Child, you know how they say don't bring no knife to no gunfight? Child, don't bring no stripper shoe to no gunfight. This girl picks up the biggest stripper shoe in her house. I mean, hey, maybe you can stab her with that heel on that shoe, but Fatima standing over her like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with that? Why she reaching in her purse like, do it if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she put the shoe down. Zack got the baby running out like he done robbed a bank. And then they run out the house. Heather yelling, they kidnapping my baby. They kidnapping my baby. Child, while they walking off in the night dark, and I'm saying night dark for a reason, and the nosy neighbor looking out the window looking like Pearl from 227 saying, all right now, that's what y'all need to do. Take that baby and go. All right, that's the end of this episode. But as they were showing, it's not the end because as they were showing as the credits were rolling, they were continuing on as Danny walked into her car. So she notices it looked like the glass was bust on her car and there's glass everywhere. And then you see the man like running around her car. And then he kidnaps her. Well, he grabs her and she yells and they fall on the floor. But the reason why I said in the dark night, because in Fatima and them saying it was dark. But over here with Danny, it was light. So I was like, This seems, I don't know what time of the day it was. Maybe this happened earlier. I don't know. But it was light with Danny and it was dark over here with Fatima. I think they should have switched the scenes. Like as soon as child, I don't know. This is Tyler Perry Sisters. But anyway, at the end of the day, because even in the preview that I did a recap of this last episode, but they did show Heather giving this baby to Zack, and they didn't show that in this scene. So maybe they had to rearrange some stuff. I'm not for sure because it was some stuff in that trailer that didn't happen that was supposed to happen on this episode. But anyway, overall the episode was good. Heather did need to be slapped. She needed to be thrown down on that floor. Gary, him and Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they need to go somewhere and figure out their life because they crashing and burning at this point. And Heather just being Heather. You know, I'm just sick of all of them, really, because they really getting on my nerves. Harry, Gaden, Harry, I'm getting tired now. Hayden, Gary, and Heather. They are all getting on my nerves. Yeah. And it seems like the only person that's actually making moves for the better in their lives right now is Karen, because she's getting her shot. But we'll see what's going to happen between her and Brian, because it's almost like this is a setup. When that girl Chelsea was talking to Karen about Brian, it's like it's the setup that he's liking her right now. So something is going to go on with them. I don't know. But anyway, y'all, this is Sheila B. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I thought it was pretty good in the beginning and in the end. So now some of that middle stuff they could have done without. You know, Maurice running around looking like the black titty Batman. Anyway, y'all, bye.